Hey, Bastish BF for 64K,
and welcome to vlog number 48,
May 2025. So the bulk of this video is going to be a Q&A. I asked everybody to send in questions across all multi-platforms, and I'm going to answer everything here today, so you get to see all that with your names and who asked different questions. I'm also going to be giving you like updates, just basic updates on everything as per usual in the vlog. We're going to get this going very quickly. I want to get through the updates as fast as possible because the questions will take a little bit of extra time. So basically upcoming videos on 64K, there's a whole bunch of cool ones I've completed. If you're a Patreon or club member, you've already watched them, or some of them anyway. I've got a couple of videos based on genres that I haven't really touched on this channel whatsoever. I got 2 Commodore 64 top 10 styled videos, one about breakout games, one about pinball games. These are genres I haven't touched on at all on the system. I've also got a massive shoot 'em up video coming out probably in June. It's for the Sega Saturns, all the best shoot 'em up games. This is a mammoth video, it's huge. If you're a Sega Saturn fan, you're gonna love it. If you're not, it doesn't matter. If you love shoot 'em ups, you're gonna really dig this video. I can't wait for this one to be done. I'm about 30% through it. It'll be out probably in June, definitely. So those are some awesome videos to really look forward to. As per usual, I just want to say a big thanks to all the Patreon and club members on YouTube for helping out the channel. Even just the smallest little bit, for $1 something a month, it really does help keep this channel going, and just in terms of buying digital games and stuff to review and just keep maintenance going. It's not necessary, but it really does help, and I do really thank you. If you want to join, please just check it out. It's going to cost you almost nothing, and you'll get access to all the latest videos long before anybody else, and you know, access to ask me any questions or behind the scenes stuff. So thank you again. Also, on that note, the channel recently crossed the 20,000 subscriber mark, which is quite a feat considering this channel started with 0, and I worked it up without any, you know, outside help. It was just 0 to 20,000. That's just pure hard work, nothing else. There's no artificial inflation going on there. So I thank everybody that's joined and watches the videos on a regular basis. I'll say this every time, this is unfortunate part of YouTube. 80% of people that watch this channel on a regular basis are not subscribed. If you can please, I don't ask this often, I ask this maybe once every 3 months, maybe even 4 months. If you can please subscribe if you enjoy the content, that would help out a lot. It's just simple, and that'll be really appreciated. If you don't want to, fine, it's okay, just carry on watching as long as you enjoy it. So that's probably the most important to me. And some more stuff on 64K that's happening. I got an eBay store. I'm selling off a whole bunch of big box PC games. I have got hundreds boxes full of these things from the 80s and 90s. Excellent titles. If you want to pick some up, check out the eBay link to my store and you can go buy these gems. There's basically only 1 copy of each one of these games. I'm also selling some C64 stuff, but before anybody freaks out, I'm not selling my C64 collection. It's simply doubles I have. You know, when I bought games back in the day in lots, I got a couple that I already had. So there are going to be some C64 games, some really good ones that are up for sale. Some have already been sold. If you've been following me on social media and all that, you would have known about all this, and if you haven't, you've missed out, unfortunately. You can go check that out. I'll leave links in the description. I have doubles of some 64 games, like I'm said. Those will be up there as well. I don't need 2 copies of everything. I'm not a collector of variants or any of that kind of nonsense. That's like a whole other level of collecting that I don't understand. 1 copy of each game is good enough for me. So there'll be a few there, but it's mainly big box PC games. And yeah, definitely check that out. I just got too many of these things and I have to pare down these collections. I'm kind of focusing my collecting from now on just on stuff I super and am interested in, like I'm really invested in, as opposed to being a broad collector. I think that kind of thing is, it's not me anymore. It's too it's when you're younger, you kind of want to collect every single game. Now I prefer to collect on what I actually want to play and I actually have real passion about. I think having a more focused approach to it is a much better deal, and it's a bit of a relief to get rid of all this stuff. There's just too much. So please check out the eBay channel. They'll be appreciated a lot. Okay, I got one more thing quickly to say. It's going to take a little while though before we get to the good stuff, the Q&A. This is about social media, and I'm sure, like a lot of you know, that Facebook has switched to AI to run their whole system. The genius of them has no bounds. Anyway, what they've also decided is that their support team is AI as well. Bear that little cue of a nugget of information in your mind when you hear the rest of the story. So yesterday I got a message from Facebook saying my account has been cancelled. That's my personal account. My personal account is linked to 64K. That's all part of Meta. So those are wiped out. I had over 7,000 followers on 64K. Plus Meta also owns Instagram. They wiped that out as well. It's all gone, just gone in a flash, like just instantly. They said I'm underage to use Facebook. The AI had detected that. There was an issue. So they just basically cancelled everything. So it's all gone, which is pretty disturbing if you think about it. And it's just gone in a flash, all that time wasted. So I don't really know what to say about that. I put in an appeal, even though I don't honestly even care, because it kind of rubbed me the wrong way for some reason. And I put in an appeal, and it said the appeal went to the AI assistants. Ridiculous. So basically I took a picture of myself and it said I'm underage for my account, so it's all cancelled. Yeah, so I just want to let you guys out there know that those accounts Facebook and Instagram don't exist anymore. My personal account with all my friends from all over the world and family, that's all gone, everything. If you message me through Messenger, everything in Messenger is gone. So all the contacts I made over the years in the C64 community, I don't have any contact with any of you anymore. It's all gone. Just bear that in mind. If you want to get hold of me, you can just leave a message on the YouTube channel, Twitter and Bluesky or X. I'm still on there. Those aren't part of Meta, thank goodness. They have nothing to do with it, so you can message me on there as per usual. Those accounts will continue, and honestly, I'm not pursuing this any further. I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to be remaking 64K on Facebook or Instagram, because if I go through all that effort, and the AI decides something and wipes it out, all that's for nothing again. There's no way I'm putting that much effort into it. It's gone. It's gone. That's basically what it is. It took so many years to build that up, especially the Facebook 64K channel, which had over 7,000 followers, which is a lot for a Facebook channel. It's just wiped out. No rhyme or reason. It's just the AI doesn't know how to detect something. So fair warning to everybody out there, it could happen to you. It's probably going to happen to a lot of people, I suspect. Anyway, I just want to let you know I'll be changing the end titles and all that kind of stuff in my videos, and Facebook and Instagram won't be on there. It's going to take a while to implement that because it's in all videos. But anyway, if you try to log in and check out the channel that way, it doesn't exist. I apologize, it's out of my hands, and I'm just moving on. It's going to affect the channel, the YouTube channel, because Facebook was a pretty good distribution for videos on how to get people to see it. If that was your way of watching 64K, it's no longer possible. So you'll probably have to come on YouTube and maybe subscribe. Maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not even going to think about it. This video is coming out a week after I'm recording this right now. Maybe something will happen. I seriously doubt it. And I kind of am slightly relieved, to be honest. I don't know what else to say about it. I just feel bad for everybody that followed the channel that way, because there was a lot of, really enjoyed it that way. It's no longer there. And thank you, Facebook and Meta, doing a great job. congratulations. Now let's go on over to the good stuff, the Q&A. Okay, Q&A time, and I've got 6 questions here I've written down from all different social media accounts, and well, not much of them left anyway going forward, but some of these have multiple questions mixed in there, so let's get going. The first one up is from Retro and Gaming. They ask, the first game you played on the C64, and did you own a bread box or a C64C? So I think I've answered this question before in a video, and as far as I can possibly remember, I believe the first C64 game I ever played was Pharaoh's Curse, made by Synapse Software. I think it came out in 1983, and it was one of their really early games, really early C64 game. I played it at my next door neighbor's house. He had a C64 right at the beginning. I got mine in late 84. So I'd play all the early games at his house, and Pharaoh's Curse is the game I specifically remember being probably the first game I ever played on a C64. It was super awesome, and yes, I got a bread box in late 84, and that was my main computer for at least 4 years. And then I think it was about 1989, I got a C64C, which is basically the same system, you know, the white version, the slick looking one. And obviously I used that for the next few years until I got a Mega Drive. And that was the big jumping point where I moved on to 16-bit era. So yeah, I actually had both of them. And the next question is from Denny Hayes, and he asks, how does monetization help with running a retro channel? I've noticed a trend of newly formed channels asking for membership and donations and Patreon contributions from the start without putting in any effort. Is this sustainable in the long run? Okay, so yeah, this is kind of, I don't personally need donations to run this channel. I can run this channel for free. It's appreciated. And on top of all this, let's just start at the beginning here. I never opened a Patreon account until I had over 10,000 followers, because I felt like I had to prove myself that, you know, I was making something that somebody would appreciate. I would never ask anybody for donations or contributions to a channel that I just opened. That is really cheeky, and you know, you got to prove yourself. You can't just come out of the gate and just, I've seen this on a lot of new chat channels, and you're right, they come out of the gate and just loading you on with like asking you for donations and all this kind of nonsense. I'm sorry, but you have to prove yourself to an audience before you can even attempt to do that. Like I said, I only did that when I had about 10,000 followers. At that point I felt, even then I felt a bit cheeky to even ask anything, but obviously I appreciate any little bit of help that can go along to keep this channel going. It's great. But yeah, and as far as like, you know, sustainability for those channels, they're not going to last long, I can guarantee you that, because if you're coming out of the gate and you're just asking for that immediately, that means you're not really willing to put in the actual work to make a channel, you know, long-term appeal. So it's just a poor marketing choice. It's a poor choice on everybody that's doing that, and for me personally, I couldn't really support a channel that does that kind of thing. So that's all I got to say about that. And the next question is from Dual Monitor, and they ask, what is your go-to game platform when you just want to play something? So this is going to tie into a question a little bit later, but honestly, I don't have the time to play games for pleasure. When you're making a YouTube channel, I have to kind of pick videos I want to make, and also based on games I want to play. So that's how it works. I don't base it on you know, whatever's trending. The channel will be completely different. I just base on what I want to play, and that's what I end up reviewing. So at least I can get to play that, because I don't have really enough time to just sit down and play a game just for pleasure. If I do though, and I just want to mess around, I usually go for the Sega Saturn. I love that system. And you know, I usually, there's a lot of games I still haven't played, which just boggles my mind because I played so many. And it's a console. Consoles have a finite amount of games, you know, not like computers, which are endless. You'll never ever get to play all of them. And I still haven't played everything. I'm still like messing around with new games to me. So that's always fun. So Sega Saturn, especially the Japanese catalog, is awesome for me to mess around with. But generally speaking, I don't really have time to just put on a system and just jam it out, unfortunately. And next is a question from RWX Designs. They ask, if there was one C64 game from the 80s or 90s you would love to see improved or updated today to meet your expectations back then, what game would it be and what was it lacking originally that disappointed you? So, you know, I don't really think back to that kind of thing. To me, retro games are their own thing, and I don't really feel like you need to touch them or remake them, generally speaking. If you do and you make it better, that's awesome. But generally speaking, you can just leave them alone and they can exist as they were. So I don't have any specific title, but I will say that, you know, the games that were lacking in overall scope and just features when I was a kid in the 80s and 90s were always RPGs. RPGs were always held back by technology. Out of all the genres of games on computers, those ones I felt were held back, especially in terms of graphics and sound, because they were putting so much effort into the actual options and menus that you just ran out of space, you know, just general space, just technology. Technology really hampered RPGs during the 80s and 90s. I think a lot of those games could actually be remade into something even better. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy RPG, I love them. The Dungeons & Dragons games, love them. SSR games, all those were held back dramatically just by technology. So I'd say just for a genre, that would be it. But I don't really feel like any of those need to be remade. They can just exist as they are. And you can find modern kind of games that kind of mimic that sort of style and enjoy them for what they are now. Okay, and this next question is a two-parter. I have kind of answered the first one though, but we'll just run through it. Upstairs Room Software asks, your production quality is excellent, thank you. And surely it takes a good amount of time. Yes, it does. So with that in mind, do you ever have time to sit down and just enjoy some retro gaming and not think about making YouTube videos? I'll get to the next part next, the second part. And I've already answered that. Generally speaking, no. It's just, it takes too much time. I do occasionally get a chance to mess around with my daughter and we play some Xbox game that we downloaded and just some two-player nonsense. But those are just, you know, just throwaway games kind of thing. It's just some dumb multiplayer thing. But I just don't, because the YouTube channel takes up all my free time to make these things. And I'm totally happy with that because, you know, I'm not young, so I've played a ton of games in my life. So I've got to the point where I can be quite satisfied in what I've played. And revisiting these old games and enjoying them again, or games I just never got to play that are retro on different systems, is quite enjoyable. So through YouTube I get to explore these in a certain way. I'm not playing them for pleasure per se, but I am playing them and it still does bring pleasure. So in a way I am still enjoying it, but it also feels a little bit like a job. I hope you can understand that. It's hard to explain. If you make videos on YouTube, you'll know what I'm talking about. And the second part of the question is, my wife Nancy wants me to ask the history of your handle, _B. I seem to recall you mentioned it before, but I can't remember. Yeah, I have mentioned it before. So _B, that just comes from when I was doing a video technology course back in the day when I was 18 or 19. And basically I made a bunch of friends and we all hung out and we all liked the same thing. We all liked the same movies, we all liked the same games, all that kind of stuff. So it was super cool. And we all like comic books. That's where the handle comes in. And we used to go to like this marketplace down the road from the college, and we used to try to find comic books and collect them. I was a big fan of Lobo. It's a comic book from well, it's been around forever. It's been around for a long time, Lobo, and I don't know when the character actually started, to be perfectly honest, not the specific date, but anyway, in the 90s, Lobo got a huge rebirth kind of thing through DC Comics, and I just loved it. He's a crazy character. He's actually going to appear in the new Supergirl movie, by the way. I don't know whether that's going to be good or bad. Probably the later. But anyway, Lobo's a cool character, and in those comic books, because it was DC at the time, and there was no such thing as swearing in comic books. There was comic codes and all that kind of thing. So Lobo used to call everybody a bastish, which basically means like bastard or something like that, some equivalent. So my friends basically started calling me Bastish because I was always after the Lobo comics. Everybody was out for other ones. I was also trying to get all the Spider-Man, and other people that were into Batman, my other friends into Batman and whatever, but Lobo was mine, so they kind of started calling me Bastish. And then obviously they took my first name, Brendan, and it became Bastish B. So that just became like kind of a quick little thing you could say between friends, a nickname really, and that just carried on. And so whenever I talk to those guys all over the world, they usually refer to me as Bass B, and it just stuck. So I just decided to use that for my handle for YouTube. So it comes from that comic book Lobo, specifically the 90s Lobo. I'm not sure if he continued to use that, because I only read those comic books during that specific time. I don't know whether they continued using Bastish or not. No idea. I stopped collecting comic books many years ago, and so that's where it comes from. And this final question is from John Ebbs. He's been a supporter of this channel for many years. Thank you, sir. He asked, did the downfall of arcades begin when they started charging £1 a go for the likes of Afterburner and Power Drift? So this is an interesting question, because obviously wherever you were in the world, arcades were a different price for you, granted, whatever your money system is. But generally speaking, I think you can probably say this all over the world. This happened. It definitely happened in South Africa, where I grew up. You had regular arcades, just regular cabinets, 1942 Ghosts and Goblins, whatever. And then you had the special cabinets, the Taikan, what they call Taikan in Japan, the big mechanical things, like Afterburner, Power Drift, Thunderblade, all those things, usually Sega related or Namco made them. Those big hulking things where you jump on, you get an experience as well as a game. Those were always a little bit more expensive. Our regular arcades were like 20 cents each in South Africa, and then those like Afterburner and stuff, they were usually 50 cents to 1 rand. You can just say $1, just to keep things simple. Yeah. And I honestly don't think that was the beginning of the downfall of arcades, because even as kids, we understood when we went to an arcade, we used to take a little bit of money, and we would, I would, and all my friends, we would separate our money into what we wanted to do. And we used to keep a few dollars, let's just say dollars to keep things simple again. We'll keep a few dollars aside for the special games, and the rest we would just blow on just regular cabinets. You get a lot more game out of that. The big experiences were shorter, but you got such a thrill ride, so it was special. We would keep that money aside to play Afterburner once, and we'll go play Power Drift once and be very satisfied, and then the rest we'd spend on regular arcades. I don't really think there was a downfall of arcades. Everything moves on, and we felt it was quite, it justified itself to pay that little bit extra to get that experience, almost like a thrill ride as well as the game. I think really just the overall, downfall of arcades and the way it just went out of existence was really technology. The home caught up with the arcades and overtook it in terms of what you could do. The arcades were always ahead. When consoles became more powerful and equivalent to the arcades, it made them irrelevant to go to see. That was really the downfall, in my opinion anyway. So I don't really think the paying a little bit extra for games was really the deal, but everybody's entitled to their opinion. Maybe you feel that that was the start of it and that was the major downfall, but for me personally, I think it was just part of really technology. Okay, and that's it. I just want to thank everybody that submitted these questions. It was pretty interesting to read and answer those. I just want to thank everybody for their continued support, checking out the channel. Please spread the word if you can. I've got a lot less resources to do that now. I am okay with that though. I'm just going to continue on. It is what it is. And anyway, so thank you, and thanks for joining me, Bastish for 64K. I hope you had a good time, and if you can please like and subscribe, that'll be greatly appreciated. And I'll see you next time. Cheers.